Sorry for being a bit late. I had some technical difficulties this morning, but I'm looking forward to starting the stream. Here we go. My plan today is to finish cleaning up these last two views of the character, add the glasses into all the different views, and then hopefully I'll get around to drawing at least the front view, just the front view in grease pencil, and we'll see where we go from there. We might have some time for some rigging, but that's the plan. So if anyone's joined since I first explained what the plan is today, I've been designing this character, and the plan is to finish cleaning up these last two views, and then to add the glasses to all the different views, because at the moment only the 3/4 has it. And then from there, I reckon I'm gonna start drawing the front view in grease pencil, and if we've got some time, I might start rigging that view as well. If anyone knows why every time I exit full screen mode, it makes the whole window really small, I'd really like to know. Because at the moment when you press tab, it enters into like this full screen mode, which I really like working in, but then you press tab again to exit it, and like half the time it becomes really small and the other half it doesn't. Oh, I got that in the wrong layer. Alright. I'm gonna just adjust this so that it can get a bit smaller. Hopefully that'll look a bit better. All right. Pretty happy with that. Right, now I need to add glasses to each view. This is tricky because on one hand I don't want to make any tangents, but then it still has to look right. pretty happy with that. And now I just need to duplicate that, I reckon. Move that onto the next thing. Something like that. But I reckon it's actually going to curve around the face, kind of like that. So I'm just going to first draw this one and then leave it there. And then that's kind of it. And then I just want to, is that right? That looks right. I might decide to take away the glasses when I actually get to the grease pencil stage, if I decide I don't like it. But it's alright for now. Now I just need this. Alright, and that's it. I'm just going to save a new version. And then in this new version, I'm just going to crop it down. Alright, time to start drawing the grease pencil objects. What should our name be? Let's call a second character for now. Alright, I'm going to open up Blender. Create 2D animation. Gonna exit that mode. I'm gonna even delete the grease pencil object. I'm gonna add an image as a reference. I'm just going to choose second character. There we go. And the overlays, I'm going to turn on the 3D cursor, the Z and X axis. Alright, that's fine. Now I want these characters to be the same scale, so I am going to actually open up one of the previous versions, one of the character, a file from the previous character, and I'm just going to import him. If I go where would it be? Perfect. So this is what we have with our previous character. I don't even know if I've got them stylistically similar enough. I'll just draw, see if I can change things later. This is called character grease pencil. Alright, so I'm gonna go File, Append. Nice. And in fact, on this frame, I'm going to scale her up so that she's... I want the heads to be a similar size. So that makes her a little bit shorter. That's okay. Or does she need to be a little bit bigger? Alright, I think that's a good size. Alright, there we go. Now I can disable that. Oh, I can disable that and move this into place. Perfect. And alright, I want this to be a little bit further away from the camera, so I'm just going to go Shift S, cursor to selected, then select the plane, and then select the 3D cursor and scale it up. And you'll see that it looks exactly the same from the view. One thing I want to do first is create a new instance. Oh, the mustache fits her. Yeah, I saw when I had it slicing through the character. Yeah, it looked nice. Nice to have you here. Sovanima, nice username. Savella Nivola, I thought that too. Yeah, nice to see you here. Hello Fish Switches, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Looks great so far, mate. Thank you. Right, yes. I was going to make a new instance of OBS so that I could start recording as well. Alright, I'm going to go record screen. And start recording. There we go. Alright. I'm going to name ideas. Miss Eleanor Thistlewick. I like that one. Minerva Brightly. I like both of those names. Those are good ones. Alright. So I'm going to call this one Grease Pencil Head. And I'm going to draw it, but first I'm going to turn down the opacity here because I don't want to see it so obviously. Miss Beatrix Sagewood, I like that too. I know these feel like they're too much of real names, you know, like they're compared to what was his name again, Mr. Whiskersworth or something like that. Pretty happy with that. Why is that looking so good today? Hang on. I'm going to just add a smooth modifier that just affects the thickness. And then up here in the tools, I'm going to just slightly increase that so it can't go all the way to 0. I should save this. Alright. Professor Felicity Ponderwell. Oh, okay, no, that modifier is acting too much. Gonna just leave it at 1. Yeah. Alright, that should be good. I'm just trying to think. I remember on my last character I had the hair as part of the head, and now I'm just wondering if I should do the same thing. You know, I think I should. I'm just going to try and keep this real simple. However, that hair that comes down here, that's going to be a separate object. And she should have some sort of sideburns like that. Can you use a mirror for this cleanup? I could use a mirror modifier. I like to have a little bit of variance from one side to another. I could probably use a mirror modifier and then a noise modifier to add that variance, but I think it just looks a little more handmade if I just draw it all. But no, you can absolutely use a mirror modifier. I think the one downside to that is it means you have to draw everything on the character that is symmetrical first, and then apply the modifier, and then draw everything that's not symmetrical. Whereas like in Critter, when I was designing it, you can kind of turn on and off the mirror as you work, which you can't really do that with the grease pencil. Because if you've got something that's asymmetrical and then you add a mirror modifier, it'll copy everything that's on one side to the other. Is it best to keep characters symmetric? It makes things easier the more symmetrical they are, but then you don't want to go too far with that because it then makes them too bland, too boring, Whereas a little bit of asymmetry is usually a good thing. Let me try that again. And then I need to get rid of that part and that. Right. Big thank you, Sketchy. I used what you showed me and it fixed everything. Thank you so much. No worries, level 99. I'm glad I could help. Yeah. Dr. Tabitha Quill. I really like that name. I know you weren't alerted that I was on. Oh no. Maybe I should I did start a bit later than usual, just because I had some technical difficulties. But maybe I should start putting out like a community post and the like. Or like, I know you can, when you create a broadcast, you can set it, like schedule it for a certain time, and then it comes up as like a suggested video before the stream starts. So maybe I just need to start saying, I'm going to be live in 30 minutes, you know, rather than saying, just go live now. Oh no. Ah, okay. So I have an issue. The eyebrows kind of need to be separate grease pencil objects, but they also need to be behind the hair. So now I'm gonna have to make that a separate grease pencil object. All right, let me fix all of that. All right, no worries. Nope. This is where I wish I had a little bit of a mirror modifier. I could probably just duplicate the stroke. Oh no, that looks good. All right. Hopefully that's not going to cause any issues. It should be fine. Yeah, it should be good. All right. I'm going to just call this material ink. Ah, no, I'm not going to call this material ink. I'm going to open up and find the existing ink material. And if I turn on this guy, yep, those line weights pretty much match. That'd be a good idea to get more viewers. Yeah, that's probably true. I gotta find a balance though of like what's easiest for me, but then also what will get people watching. Can we get some sort of mask for the eyebrows? Oh, that's a good idea. Masking in Blender at the moment is a little bit limited, but hypothetically, I could have the hair as I had it and then just have a duplicate of the hair strokes on the eyebrow object that's masking it, and then rather than parenting the eyebrow to a bone, I just parent the layer to a bone. I think this is going to be easier this way though, with just everything on a separate object. Yeah, I think I'm not going to try and overcomplicate it too much. Alright, I'm going to add a new grease pencil object that is empty. Call it grease pencil mouth. What I really don't like about adding new grease pencil objects is it automatically generates a new material called black, and that means that when I finish drawing a character, I've got like 100 unused materials called black .001.002, etc. That I need to clean up, but it'll be alright. That was easy. One thing I need to do is shift it forward. Just to use good practice, I'm gonna set the cursor to the camera, select the mouth, and just scale it down a little bit rather than just shifting it forward, because then it won't offset from the drawing. And then I'm gonna apply the scale. There we go. Now I'm gonna just duplicate this one. And then in edit mode, delete all the points. I'm going to call this one grease pencil nose. Well, that was easy. And again, I'm just going to scale that down a little bit and apply the scale. Okay. Can you pair layers to bones? Yes, you can. It's actually really cool. Like over here, in the grease pencil data settings, you've got all the layers here, and under this tab, relations, you can choose an object, and if that object's an armature object, it'll have another input where you choose a specific bone. It can cause a little bit of weirdness. I try and avoid it if I have to, but for example, I did in the character that I made before Mr. Whiskerworth, I did like a fan art of Bad Jelly the Witch, and she had some eyes that where the pupil had to be masked to the outer eye, and so I parented the outer eye to one bone and the inner eye to another bone, and even though they were on the same grease pencil object, I had the layers parented, and I was able to do that. That was cool. Right, next I'm going to add the eyes, I guess. And can I now add some smile lines? I think that looks good. Maybe? I'll leave them for now. I'm going to duplicate this, call it I2, and scale it in the negatives. And I want these actually a little bit in from the nose. else do I need to do now? I'm going to do the eyebrows next. Can you control the thickness of the lines with the modifier if you decide to have, for example, other thickness contours and inner thickness as such? Yes, you can. It's actually really intuitive. Let me just add a new grease pencil object, and I'll just draw. Hang on. Where? It's gonna be at the camera's position. Okay. And if I choose a brush that has no thickness, pressure sensitivity, and I just draw something nice and cool, one thing I really like to do is I'll draw like this and then add a modifier. I don't know if you can see this, hang on. Add a modifier, and I'll search for a thickness modifier. There we go. And I'll just reduce the thickness a lot, like almost down to 0. And then under influence, I can check custom curve. And then if I make the curve look like this, it'll taper the ends of every stroke. And that's a really fun one. And then of course you can also add a noise modifier that only affects the thickness. You can see how that is affecting the thickness. Yeah, so that's something you can do. And then you can also just reduce the thickness a lot. Yeah. Some really cool stuff you can do with the thickness modifier and other modifiers as well. Alright, where was I? I should have the ears on separate objects, I reckon. Alright. I'm going to select the head, enter edit mode, select the ears, press P by selection, and then again just select one ear, P by selection. Alright, now they're on separate objects. Call this one GP ear 1, copy that, paste ear 2, and now I'm just going to scale these up slightly so that they're behind the head, and then apply the scale. Can I not apply the scale to multiple objects? Are they using the same grease pencil data? 36 and 37. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's all good. Alright, and then that's going to make things a lot easier with them being separate. Alright, now I'm going to add hair on top. So I'm going to approach this rig slightly differently than I did the previous rig. And the main way... Whoa, I forgot to change my brush back. The main way that that's going to be evident is I'm going to try and use the time offset modifier so that I don't need to be going around copying a bunch of keyframes that I don't need to. That's going to limit me in some ways, but it's going to make other parts of the process a lot smoother. But I do remember when I was animating the other character thinking, oh, this is so convenient, being able to just alter any of the drawings at any time, you know? And I'm not really going to have that ease of use with this character if I approach it in the way that I'm thinking. But hopefully it'll still be good. Oh, hang on, do these all still have... Okay, this one has a smooth modifier. I need to make sure that when I'm done drawing, I need to actually go through and apply the smoothing modifier. Now I'm going to scale this one down slightly so that it's in front of the eyebrows but behind the nose, and then apply the scale, right? Now the glasses are going to be kind of tricky. I think I'm going to need them on three separate objects, maybe 5 separate objects if I include the arms. So I think I'm going to have one like lens on one object, one lens on the other object, and then the bridge is a separate object. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, I'm going to turn off automatic keyframing because I realize a lot of these are going to have keyframes on them and I don't want them to. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay. Now I'm going to make the little, oh wait, what did I just select that had a keyframe? Oh, it was this. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this, call it grease pencil hair twirl. That was pretty bad. I'm going to add that smooth modifier back in, just on the thickness. Nice. Groovy bananas. Tanner dude man, thank you for joining us. Reminder to stretch and hydrate. Good idea. I've run out of my tea, but I have some orange juice here. I'm gonna have some orange juice. Thank you for the reminder. All right. I think before I get on to the glasses, I'm going to add these hair strands here. Just going to duplicate this, call this grease pencil hair strand. Oh man, these hair strands are going to be a real pain with the timer offset modifier. Oh well, I'll see if I can, maybe I'll be able to make an add-on or something that'll make things easier. Call this hair strand 1. Why is it like that? Okay. And then I'm going to add a mirror modifier. I'm going to apply that, and then in edit mode, I'm going to select that, put it on a different object, rename it to hair strand 2. And are those in the correct position? Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. I'm going to scale those down a little bit. And then apply the scale. I can't apply the scale to both of them at the same time. That's annoying. Okay. Oh no. My camera froze. Let me just deactivate it and activate it again. Deactivate. Activate. There we go. I don't know why it does that. Alright, that's her head done. Although, no, I still need the glasses and the back of her hair. I'm going to do the glasses first. Even though that's going to be a pain to rig. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. Could duplicate the eye, call it grease pencil lens. Grease pencil glasses lens 1. Hope I spelled that right. And then delete everything in edit mode. And I'm gonna try just drawing the circle like I did in Critter, but I'm also gonna probably end up just using an ellipse. That was close. Let me try that again. That was terrible. Hang on. I'm just gonna use an ellipse. Like I said. Whoa, why is that looking so bad? Oh no. There we go. Okay. I guess I'll just set that and adjust the thickness in edit mode, because oh my goodness, that was terrible. Ooh, why is it so far back? So it needs to be behind the nose. Okay, I'm going to need to put this nose further forward in order to be in front of the hair and such. Okay, now it's in front of the hair, but behind the nose. Very nice. I want these tablet pens to have a beeper for when I set it down somewhere, but then they're all battery free these days. Yeah, that's true. I know what you mean though. It's that you put it down and you look away and you look back and it's gone. You gotta be very vigilant about putting it in its little holder. I'd like yours to be heavier. Yeah. Heavier things just feel like the higher quality, don't they? Why did that also get set all the way back there? Alright, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate this one and delete it. I'm going to call it, instead of lens, I'm going to call it bridge. And I'm going to draw the bridge of the glasses. Now, what's tricky about this one is this needs to be in front of the nose, which is going to cause so many problems, I'm sure. Right, now I'm going to do the back of the hair. What's your inspiration for this style of character? That's a good question. I guess bobbleheads, but no, not really. I think I was just messing around when I with some different shapes when I created the design for the first character, and then I just kind of developed it until it looked a way that I really liked. And then this one, I don't think I like this design as much. And I think it's because I felt more restricted because I was trying to tie it in to the other character while keeping it in the same style. Like, it's the same style, but like a distinct design as well. And it was just tricky to pull off. But yeah, I don't know exactly what inspired it. It kind of almost looks 3D already just because of the way things are placed in depth, you know? You can kind of orbit around and it almost looks like she's a 3D head. Muhammad Ali, nice to have you here. Yo, hi. The style is very charming. Thank you. You know, there's Muhammad Ali. There's a story I like to tell people where I say I used to I once boxed Muhammad Ali, but it wasn't the Muhammad Ali. It was I grew up in Afghanistan, and there was a kid named Muhammad Ali, and we had some boxing gloves, and we played with them. Are you gonna rig this character? Yes, I am. It's gonna be good. Yeah, it's gonna be lots of fun. Alright, I guess, again, this hair is going to be a pain when it comes to animation if I approach it the same way, the way that I'm thinking I'm going to. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. Alright. Time to make the body. Do you have an art station or an Instagram? I do. I do. If you go to artstation.com/sketchy squirrel, I think that's me. Um, and then if you look up, I think I'm Squirrel Sketchy or something on Instagram. I might be Sketchy Squirrel. I only have one thing posted on Instagram though. It's yeah, I wouldn't bother. Um, it's quite an art to draw the layers, knowing what needs to be separate and how they should be drawn. Looks like a paper doll. Thank you, Lysias Aurelius. Yeah, it definitely takes some experience and then also some trial and error. I think what makes cutout animation so daunting for people who are starting out is that yeah, you kind of need to think forward to how you're going to do something in the rigging stage when you're drawing the character. Um, that's awesome to hear you've been living in Afghanistan. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, it was fun. I don't know. It felt just like a normal childhood because I didn't know that it was strange. Um, Obviously, people always think, "Oh my goodness, you grew up in Afghanistan? Isn't that dangerous?" And it's like, well, there are like millions of children growing up in Afghanistan all the time, and that's not that dangerous. It's pretty dangerous, but it's people don't think that's strange. But yeah, no, it was good. Kelly Johnson, thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it. Sketchy. What about your motion comics workflow? I've actually, I think I mentioned this before, but I've never actually made a motion comic. But I do have an idea on how I would approach that. Um, I would, can you speak Dari or Pashto? Zapachtu dera laglag pohegam. Uh, which for others in the chat means I speak a very small amount of Pashto. Um, and I also know that the Dari word for snow is barf, and that's about it. Um, yeah, I think that's probably one of my biggest regrets from Afghanistan is not learning more Pashto. My parents speak it pretty well, and they intended to send me to a local school that would speak Pashto, so that I would learn the language. But they couldn't do it because they would hit the children when they got questions wrong, and so especially while we were still learning the language, that would have been quite difficult. Um, it is parallax effect sort of for the eyeglasses. Despite your idea of being 3D, maybe it would be better to keep them at the same perspective level, but you know better. Yeah, because they're all on separate objects, you kind of need them to be at different points in perspective in order to get the layer order right. Otherwise, it won't know what order to render the different objects. Sketchy, you're a true Renaissance man. Thank you, and again, thank you for your generosity. Um, where is it spoken? Did you say? Pashto and Dari are spoken in Afghanistan. Oh yeah. What's the name of the language? Yeah, Pashto or Pashto. Bro be dropping lore on random Thursday stream. Love that. Yeah. I think I have mentioned it in a previous video, but there was a while ago, so I'm sure not many people have actually seen it. Um, but yeah, good times in Afghanistan. Pashto and Dari are also spoken in Pakistan. Yeah. Um, I know that the Pashto people group are mainly in Afghanistan, but there's definitely in it definitely bleeds over the border into Pakistan. Like oh, I'm gonna get the name wrong probably. Peshawar? No. If my dad's in the stream, can you tell me what the region of Pakistan is where there's a lot of Pashto spoken? Was it Peshawar? Was that the right? Or was that somewhere in Afghanistan? Oh man, I'm so bad with the geography. Um, so you're an Afghani prince hiding out in New Zealand now. Fascinating. Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah. Ah. Now, do I want her hips a separate object or no? I think no. I think I'm gonna add a small line there, small line there, and then I'll fill in the color at the end. Why don't you make a video of your time and perspective on Afghanistan as you've been there? That's a good idea. I did there was a video a while ago. I think it was called like I forget what it was called that I made. I'll find it though. I don't want to get too distracted, but I think it's fun. It was a good long while ago. Oh yeah, it's called 1 hour speed rig bird animation time lapse. Um, yeah, if I copy the link into the chat. You ever done Game of Thrones themed stuff, Sketchy? No, I haven't. I haven't seen any Game of Thrones. I don't know. It seems a bit. It doesn't really seem up my alley, personally. Um, that would be really interesting. As a kid, you had a time that people would be interested. Yeah, I think it would be fun. But I have talked a bit about my time in Afghanistan in this video. Um, and then I did another video, an animation for the organization that we worked for in Afghanistan called Hagar, that told the story of a survivor of human trafficking. That was a fun project. By the way, I'm from Pakistan. We have a lot of similar stuff. Pakistan as culture is quite similar, but as I know, it's a bit more livable compared to Afghanistan. So I have one Afghan friend who lives in Pakistan. Yeah, I think Pakistan's in a lot, especially right now, it's in a much better position. I think ever since the Taliban took over the government, things have kind of been going downhill because a lot of the aid's been cut off. So, like for example, a lot of the money that was going into Afghanistan to help people was coming from the US, and of course the US, they are not super big fans of the Taliban, and so they cut off all their funding, and so a lot of people can't access the money that they had in their bank because suddenly the bank doesn't have any money. And then there were also a bunch of natural disasters. It was bad time. Yeah. But yeah, like you say, there's a lot of overlap culturally in Pakistan. Yeah. Is that it? All right. So now I'm going to duplicate that. Call it the neck. Yes, the place you were referring to is KPK, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The Khyber Pass. Yes, I've been on the Khyber Pass. And there's actually I was really surprised when I moved from Christchurch, New Zealand, to Auckland in New Zealand. I was really surprised that there's a big road called the Khyber Pass, and I was like, "Whoa, that's from Pakistan and Afghanistan." And the capital is called Peshawar. So yeah, no, I was right when I said Peshawar. Also, fun fact: we have more Pashtun people than in Afghanistan. Really, that does surprise me, because in I know that there's a lot of different ethnic groups in Afghanistan, from the Pashtun people, the Hazara, uh, the Tajiks, the all sorts of groups. But I would have thought that there'd be more Pashtun people in Afghanistan, just because I forget what the Pashtun word for there was no I know that they call Afghanistan like the land of the Pashtuns, um, but I guess it makes sense because Pakistan is such a high population. Meanwhile, Afghanistan's struggling so much, so I guess it makes sense that overall you'd have uh, more Pashtun people in Pakistan. Kind of like how there are more Muslim people in India than in like any Arab country, uh, despite the fact that Muslims make up such a small percentage, like only like 40% of the Indian population. And so in the same way, you'll have more Pashtuns in Pakistan just because of the higher population than in Afghanistan. pretty happy with this so far. At some point I'm going to need to choose some colors. I think I'm going to delete these. I think that's going to cause me just problems in the future. But in the meantime, I'm going to duplicate this, call it grease pencil thigh 1. And start doing this. There we go. Hang on a moment. All right. I'm going to duplicate that, call it the shin. I'm not the best with color. There's some sites that will make color palettes for you though. Yeah, those sites are really helpful. I've been trying to just do it through trial and error recently, but maybe I should try a color palette, generator type thing. I suffer from extreme procrastination, can't finish my projects. I know exactly what you mean. I am honestly the same way. In fact, that's one of the big reasons that I started doing live streams, was because I felt like I just found that I wasn't making any progress unless I felt like someone was watching over my shoulder, keeping me accountable. And so I've been really enjoying live streaming, not only because I get to interact with you guys, which has been awesome, but I've also got that sense of accomplishment from making progress. Right, and now I'm going to make it... oh wait, did I not put that on the shin? Where's the thigh then? Oh, I didn't delete the part of... I didn't delete the thigh when I duplicated it. Alright, there we go. Just trying to think forward to the what I'm gonna need for the rigging. Try doing small projects first. You can finish. Don't complicate them though. I know you want to, but don't, and finish them and work your way up to more complex projects. Yeah, that's some really good advice actually. I know something I want to do this year is I want to make some sort of short film or maybe like the pilot episode to a series maybe. Um, and I'd love to do that, but I think it's really good that I'm doing something like this first, where I'm just rigging a character, doing something really small, or like not everyone was probably here when we finished the last animation, so I'll just quickly pull that up. I think that's a really good sized project to start with. If I find it. This one. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. Yeah, I think this was a really good project to start with this year, because I felt like I wasn't making a lot of progress. Let's get started, shall we? And then I did this, and I was like, okay, I can actually finish something. That's nice. Hello class, I'm so sorry for being late. Let's get started, shall we? My name's Mr. Who threw that? How can you begin to live stream as you don't have an audience as of now? Yeah, I would just say, you can just start, pretend that you have an audience. Like, I think if the goal is just to kind of keep yourself accountable and to make progress on your project, if you say, okay, I'm going to make a live stream at this time and I'm going to stream for this long, then you'll find that even if nobody's watching, you'll still feel that motivation to keep working on your project, because anybody could start watching at any moment, So I would just say, even if nobody watches, just start. Another thing, if you find that you do need people watching, another thing that some people do is they find like a Discord group. So I know that I've joined a Blender Discord group, and there'll often be people streaming what they're working on at the moment in one of like the voice chats. And so if you find that like a YouTube stream doesn't motivate you as much, you could try that, and other people from that Discord community might watch. Realistically, how long of an animation can one person create in, say, a week? If you're wanting to create a weekly series, for example, one episode should be how long? That's such a good question. And I think that's the thing, right? It depends on the style that you're going for. It depends on the workflow you're using. So like if you're using rigged animation, things are probably you're gonna have to invest a bit of time into rigging your characters, but then things are probably gonna take less time than if you're doing things frame by frame. 10 seconds is taking many hours to do. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like with my last character, it took me about 10 hours of work to go from having a design to having a rig. But then animation wasn't nearly as time consuming as it would have been if I just jumped in and started animating frame by frame. So I don't think I can give an exact answer on how long it'll take to make an animation with one person. It could just be from your inexperience. I mean, that's definitely going to be part of it. Like, you will always get faster as you work. But, yeah, I would definitely try and keep things simple stylistically. I would choose cutout animation over frame by frame. Meat Cannon seems to take weeks to create 2 to 2.5 minutes episodes, though, so I'm no expert on his content, so I would assume things on that. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Meat Cannon, but I do know that whoever makes that doesn't always work alone either. So one of my former colleagues from Muck Putty recently contributed to one of those episodes. And yeah, some cool stuff. So yeah, I would just say try and keep things simple. Don't if you are going to do things frame by frame, I would say make the easing in and easing out really extreme, because it means you can kind of just have one keyframe, a slight ease in, and then the second keyframe and a slight ease out, you know? And that'll make it really, uh, yeah, really smooth without too much work. Wow, looks cool. Thank you, Mohammed. Yeah, no, I was really happy with that animation, and hopefully I'll make another really cool animation, probably with both of the characters, this one and the other one. I just have to figure out what they need to be doing. Right. Good night, Savanima. I appreciate you dropping in and hanging out with us. Meat Cannon has a team or hires a team. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, one of my colleagues, Jolie Molly, I think his YouTube channel is. He recently contributed to a Meat Cannon episode. I haven't watched a lot of it though. It looks kind of disturbing to me. Not necessarily my cup of tea. Even with a team, he can't pump out full 20-minute episodes, it seems. Yeah, no, definitely not super long. I would take if you want to look at how quickly you can make uh, animations that are pretty much on your own, I would look at Worthy Kids. He makes some great stuff. Jolie Molly, that's a fun name. Yeah, it's a good one. But Worthy Kids, he makes a bunch of projects. His probably most famous one is Big Top Burger, which is like a series of really short episodes that tells a really good story. I think he's made 2 seasons of it now, which is pretty cool. Um, but he's also done some other projects like the pilot episode of a show that he called Captain Yajima. That was a really good one. That was like 5 minutes long. That was a really long one. Um, which yeah, like you're saying, you definitely just can't. I don't think you can do 20-minute episodes on your own. Yeah. Sketchy, what specific practices took your drawing and animation skills to the next level? That's a good question. Um, I don't, I don't, I don't know if I can quite put a finger on it. I mean, I guess watching a lot of tutorials, obviously, but then also, and obviously, there's also just doing a lot of drawing and animation. But I think probably if you want like specific exercises, one that I found really helpful is if you get like a piece of paper and you draw 2 dots at random points and then just kind of hover over it with your pen, going between them, and then in one smooth motion, trying to draw from your, trying to rotate your arm from your shoulder rather than your wrist. You go from one to the other, and that just getting that kind of control over being able to draw a specific line has, it helps. And then another one that we did was we'd draw a third point, and then would hover over again and just draw a C curve from going each of the points, and then we'd draw a point somewhere in the middle of the straight line, and then we would do an S curve. And those sort of exercises were really helpful. Another one was if you have like a horizon line and you have a vanishing point, and then you draw a cube without using a guide. You just kind of eyeball it, and then afterwards you would check your work, and you check it by taking a ruler and just extending out the lines, and you'd see I didn't hit the vanishing point, although they are going to the same point seemingly. Oh yeah, look at that, very nice. And so basically just eyeballing it and then checking your work and that sort of thing. Straight as an arrow, yeah, I was pretty happy with that straight line. I was a little nervous because I was like, how did I get good at drawing? I did this exercise, and if I'd done it badly, that would have been embarrassing. But no, I think that at least that first straight line, I was pretty happy with that. I just need to... Oh no. I think all that's left is our arms. That's exciting. I don't think we're gonna get to any rigging today because it's almost 11:30 now in the morning. I gotta start my day properly at some point, but I think I am gonna fill in all the colors though. I might want to change the colors later, but that's super easy with grease pencil, so I'm gonna just duplicate this. Whoa. Just this. Call it one. Oh wait, grease pencil one. Sketchy. How far is New Zealand from Antarctica? I actually don't know. I know that it's the closest. Well, I know it's the most convenient country to get to Antarctica from. I was about to say it's the closest, but actually I think Argentina and Chile probably are closer technically. But I know that sea in between is a real pain. So I know that it's reasonably close, but it's still quite a distance. It's not too cold all the time here. We're definitely still above whatever. How if you go too far north, then in the summertime the sun never sets, and in the wintertime it never rises. And then it's the same in the South Pole. But that we're further north, so that never happens. That was easy. Oh. Pretty happy with this so far. Alright, now I'm just gonna scale this down, down a little bit, scale this one up a little bit, and all of them scaled up. Alright, and then I'm going to apply the scale to all of them. Now I just duplicate them and scale them along the x-axis and apply the scale again. Oh wait, but now I need to rename them as well. Find, yeah, that should be good. 3 objects, very nice. Okay. Time for color, I think. I'm just going to select the body, and under materials I'm going to add skin. Oh, I've got the other character. I'm gonna have to call her materials separately. Alright. Character 2, skin. Alright, and then a new one. She should be wearing red, I think, a red jersey. CH2 jumper. We can change all these colors later. Oh, actually, I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing here. I might just bring this out, make it a bit bigger. Add a new material. This will be called shirt. I think her pants should be a kind of tan, I want to say. Is that the right word? There we go. That's the color I'm looking for. What else do I want? Hair. Now I wanted to look kind of a similar age to the second character, and at the moment I think she looks a little too young, so I'm going to actually give her some grey hair. Some kind of dark grey. That's kind of it for now. Let's start filling in these colors, shall we? I need a new layer underneath everything. That is not the right color. There we go. And then under pants, I'm gonna, where the pants should be, I'm gonna put that like that. On this one, I'm going to just split this in half and have the materials over here, the layers over here. I'm going to add a new layer underneath, add a new material, select the shirt. I don't like that shirt color. Hang on. Could reduce the saturation, increase the brightness. Increase the value, I should say. Okay. New layer underneath, new material, shirt again. Hang on. With the, but first though, I'm gonna, with the ink, I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna fill it in. Then I'm gonna select the ink and delete it. And should that just also be the shirt color? No, I don't think it should. I'm gonna give it the same color as the red. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks cool. And then here, I'm gonna add new material, choose the skin. New layer underneath. That wasn't what I was going for. That's what I was going for. Hopefully the contrast still looks good at the end. Otherwise I might need to change the color of the clothes. New layer underneath. New material. Shirt. New layer underneath. New material. Shirt. New material. Jumper. But first with the ink. It's weird how the same color looks so different in different contexts. Like this skin tone on the hands, because of the light background, looks so much darker than on the neck, where it's on a darker background. How does that look? No, I think I want them red, like I had them. Oh, I haven't decided yet. Yeah. I might make the hair a little darker. I might need like a slightly lighter strip of hair throughout, just to add a little bit of something something, as they say. Pardon. What happens if I make it white, you know? No, that doesn't look any good. I'm in a tricky spot. I feel like the darker I make her hair, the younger she looks, but also the better the contrast. Whereas the lighter I do it, the worse the contrast, but the older she looks, and I want her to just look a little bit older. I might just leave it there for now. Oh, maybe a bit darker. Definitely don't want any saturation though. There's also another material I want to add called Skin Details. That's going to be the same color as the skin, but a little bit darker, a little more saturated, a little more red. And I'm going to select the little smile lines and assign. I want to push arrange, control down arrow. Cool. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. That was very nice. Alright. Could do the same thing. I forgot to name this as well. Pretty happy about that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking these colors so far. I'm liking them a lot. Don't like this color. There we go, that's better. Yep. Almost done. I think once, just to warn you, once I've finished the coloring stage, I think I'm gonna end the stream. So I got washing to put away, and jobs to apply for. Oh, it'll be good. It'll be fine. I might change the color of these trousers. I'm not super happy with them. But I'll just get the colors in first. Maybe those trouser colors are good. I'll do some experimenting. Maybe off stream. Who's to say? No. Yeah, sorry level 99. I gotta get my day started. Really enjoyed it though. It's been a good time hanging out with everyone. Not happy with that. What the hair color? Yeah, that's good. What kind of jobs are you applying for? Anything that'll take me. Well, that's not quite true. I'm not so desperate yet that I'm looking for jobs outside of the animation industry. Yeah, no, still applying for a lot of 2D animated jobs, some rigging jobs, some 3D animation jobs. Yeah, look at that. Pretty happy with that. There we go. That's a good start, I reckon. Don't sell yourself short. Oh, thanks. You've got the experience, obviously, and talent for it. Are they just not hiring in the area? I think it's more of an industry-wide thing at the moment. Like, I've heard from multiple people that everything's just really unusually slow right now. have you considered the gaming industry? Yeah, I've applied to a couple game development studios. I probably haven't applied to as many as I should. I think I've kind of exhausted almost all the jobs I can apply for as a 2D animator for like TV. So I realized, oh yeah, I should apply for some game development studios. So that's what I was doing a lot of yesterday. I'm going to try and find some more today. Yeah. Yeah, I think game development's a good place because I feel like there's there's a there's a lot more smaller projects in addition to the larger projects going on. So hopefully I can find a position somewhere. But in the meantime, pretty happy with this character. Yeah. I'm squinting my eyes and I'm not necessarily happy with the contrast on her. So I think I might need to make her skin either darker or lighter, or maybe her hair darker or lighter. Everything's kind of one color at the moment. I don't know, I'm going to need to adjust that, I reckon. But I think that's probably it for today. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks for keeping me accountable, making me make some progress on this project. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you around. Goodbye.